Hello and hello everyone. Welcome back to Vitu Vidogo, a show that showcases the small deliberate things or steps that we do in society that either uplift us or bring us down. Today, we are going to focus on waste management. So, what kind of a citizen are you? Are you an upright citizen? Or are you the one that slacks off? Or are you the one that, you do not say something when you see something wrong happen in your society? So we are going to delve into this so that you can ask yourself, hey, are you the one responsible for the trash that is in your city, in your village, in your town? Are you the one, if you eat a banana, you throw away the peel through the window? Are you the one, when you are done with finishing your bottle of water, you throw out that again on your window? I want you to check on this episode because we are going to maybe have a comparison on how waste and waste management is handled here in Canada. I will go on different kind of waste so that you will have an idea and maybe we can learn and exchange ideas. Please let me know where you're watching from and see you. Let's start with the sewer system, the water and sewer system here in Canada. Well, uh, in these big cities, like for instance, here we are in Markham City, you have the drainage system. They are being well laid out. If you would remember there on the other episode of construction, you need to go and watch that episode on construction so that you can understand how construction is done here. And when I talk about the waste management, water waste management, then you can see from what point I'm building my case on. Here, you have like the water systems, drain systems, and the runoffs, and the sewer lines. They are built parallel to each other. What do I mean? Like we have the waste that's coming from the house. You know, you are washing your hands in the kitchen, you're doing your dishes in the kitchen, and then you're having a shower. You know, that's in the bathroom. Maybe you also brush your teeth. All that water does not go into the runoff pipe. That goes into the sewer system. And then you also have, when you flush down your toilet, the same water in all the household, they go into the sewer system where they will go into a treatment facility where the water is treated, the clean water is released back into the lake, and the solid waste, they will take it up and it goes into they will take it up. It will go to like manure or compost facilities. So that is how we deal with water waste. No, sewage waste. Now for water waste, like runoff, it has, let's say it has rained, you know so the water, instead for you, they will make sure they have like the drainage system where the water can always drain and flow maybe into the lakes. That does not need necessarily to pass through a treatment plant because that is such huge volumes and huge volumes and volumes of water. So when that happens, like you usually see when you have such huge rains, uh, what the city does here, especially for those people who live around big lakes, the Ministry here of Health will tell the people, okay, I understand it is summer, it is hot, and then we have had a couple of really heavy rainfall some days. Please don't go swim into that water. Let the water or the runoff effect, let it just clear off. Give it 2 to 3 days before you indulge into into dipping in the water. And talking about the water drainage, something else you should note is that you will see on footage there where we have open pockets of ground. The grounds, like buildings are not just built so closely to each other. They are given some spacing. And this I would also want to highlight, because you see, like in a place like Nairobi and other major African towns, you see the greed of developers. You know, everybody wants to subdivide a plot. Everybody wants to build, you know, a house or a flat, but nobody wants to give room, breathing room for a compound, for a small park, you know, a park or a parquet to serve a community, you know. And these parks, when you see the small parks like this one up here where I am, these parks, they are not just parks where you just come and relax. They also serve another purpose. Like when it rains, that, you know, sometimes when it floods in places like Nairobi, and you look around and you notice that there are no open spaces. Sometimes those small parks, they also act as, you know, as sponges for this water. Water will percolate. So when you build so closely towards, you know, closely, so these buildings are built so closely, you know, next to each other, and then we pave roads so that we can go now, the roads for, we want to go into these houses. So you find when it rains, this water has nowhere to go, because sometimes even the drainage systems that we have may not be enough. So these are some of the things I think we need also to relook at, even how we plan our cities, how we plan our towns. These are things that need to be looked at, so that, you know, you can avoid calamities on flooding, drowning. So it's about, you know, water and water waste management. The other waste I'll talk about will be on household waste. You know, you are in your house, you know, you have come in with your groceries, you want to prepare a meal. So here you have maybe a pack of flour, or maybe you know, a loaf of bread, and you are trying to make your family maybe a snack. It could be a sandwich, and you know the whole bread is finished, and you have to throw that away. Also, you have, or maybe a snack, maybe a banana, and you have to throw that peel away. And then maybe you are using some, you know, margarine or peanut butter, whatever it was, and it was finished, and you have to also to throw that away. Well, how does Toronto or these cities, because they work you know, their modus operandi is just similar. You know, the cities around here in Canada, when it comes to waste management, like the policy is like just one, the same one. So they have here, waste has been divided like into three categories. So we have organic waste. This could be the banana peels now you've just had, and it could be maybe you are peeling potatoes, the potato peels, you want to throw them away. That is organic waste. You are using a tea bag, you are brewing coffee, so you know, those coffee granules or the tea bags, that is organic waste. And then we go to, maybe you are using a can of jam and it's finished, so you want to throw that aside. So that is like recyclable waste. It could be in plastic or in a metal can or aluminum can, or maybe you are grilling, so you have these foils. So these are also recyclable. And then we also have non-recyclable waste. For instance, you know, those boxes, when you buy like a TV and you have those uh, that white soft cover that comes inside the box with the TV. That wrap, it's a styrofoam. So the styrofoam is an unrecyclable kind of waste. So here waste you'll find, you'll see, I will show you like you see them like the three dustbins. The green one is for organic, the blue one is for recyclable, and the black one is for non-recyclable. So what happens, like for instance, where I live, you will find like the garbage is picked on uh, from Mondays to Fridays. They'll pick a certain date. Like garbage in my place is collected on Tuesdays, so every Tuesday the organic waste is collected weekly, but they will switch up between recyclable and non-recyclable. So they will pick two kinds of waste, but on the same day. Organics, remember, everyone has to eat, so the organic is always there, and it will stink anyway. They can't take too long before they collect the organic. But the recyclable and non-recyclable, they will switch. They will switch. If this week they collected maybe recyclable, then next week they may not pick the recyclable, they'll pick the non-recyclable. So that is how it works. And they will separate it. When they take it to the collection facility, they will try to separate all this trash, all this waste. The organics, they will go maybe for to make compost, and the recyclable, of course, they will try to see where they will fit in, if it was it plastic or metal. And on the other hand, the non-recyclable uh, will go to the landfills. The other wastes will be coming in from the industrials. It will be like maybe from businesses. So we can start with the shopping centers. So when it comes to shopping centers, shopping centers, you have eateries, you have shops, obviously you will have different kinds of businesses there, So for instance, if you have like a flower shop, their waste is kind of different, because if you have dead stock that did not move, then that has to be put aside. That maybe may have to go to the farms. Yes. So that is some form of organic waste, but that is not necessarily the same with the foods. If you are in a restaurant, you have organic waste, but it's also different from what you have with the flower shop. So they try to separate the two. And other shops will have like plastic. Yeah, so the shop may have the plastic. Remember, if you're selling pop, you may be taking straws from there. You'll be taking maybe soda, water, so plastic and those metal cans. So these are the form of waste you'll find from there. So, of course, the management maybe that the management that manages the property, maybe it's a whole shopping area, they will have like different kind of bins where these businesses can go and throw in their waste. So this one now is on a much larger scale of waste removal than where you see these trucks coming in to the households. So to the households, you have a different kind of truck that is coming in, and whereas in a shopping area or an industrial area, you'll find the waste is on a different level. The way they collect the waste, the way they handle the waste is on different levels. I can start with construction. So here, when it comes to construction, and we are paving a new road. Let's say we are laying a new tarmac, but it's on an old road. The old road has been having potholes. So all that layer, the top layer of the asphalt, is peeled, and it's taken to, instead of taking it to the landfills, it is recycled. It is taken back to a crusher where it is crushed and is stacked up high. It can be used as backfill at another project. The same thing goes for concrete waste. So you are pulling down a building and you have that concrete. Instead of taking this concrete and throwing it into the landfills, it is crushed again. They can crush it maybe in different sizes. Like they here will have like 3/4 crush. They will say 2-inch crush. These I know because I'm in the construction industry. So again, they will try to find ways not to just take all this waste to the landfills, because when you take the waste to the landfills, then that means you are not playing your part. You know, it is not environmentally friendly. You will feel so much landfills, and you will always be looking for places to go and throw trash. So what I've seen that here in Canada is that they'll try so much to try to conserve the environment. They'll do environmentally friendly things or measures, like try to avoid to take something to field. So they have a recycle and reuse policy, and you'll find it it's very, it's very, it's like a breath of fresh air, you know. So companies also cut costs, because if you crush this material, then you can reuse it in another project. So it's a win-win situation, really, because also taking this uh, waste to a landfill, you still pay money. So why not crush it and, you know, and resell it or reuse it? So on the other one, you'll find it's like still on steel. So the same thing happens with steel. Like you are demolishing a building, and you have to crush down the concrete, and then inside maybe there's steel. So that as well is put on the side. As the concrete goes to the crusher, the steel is collected and is taken back uh, to the steel plants for recycling, for melting them again and recycling them to create other bars or other things. So that is some those are some of the things that are quite fascinating when it comes to waste and waste management, like recycle and reusing of material. When it comes also to concrete waste, sometimes you see from the concrete plants, you have maybe a site. The companies were taking concrete to a certain site. You know, there was a pour. We call it a pour, P-O-U-R. You're pouring concrete at a certain site or construction site, and maybe they needed like 10 trucks, but in essence, maybe they would use like 9.5 of that, 9.5 of the truck. So you can't have 9.5 truckloads. You can only have 10 truckloads. So once they go to that site, maybe the 10th truck will come back with some concrete. They have not used it up. So that is also taken back to the construction plant, the concrete plant, where they pour it on the ground, and then it dries. Once it dries, again, it is picked up, is collected, it is crushed to be reused again, to reuse it as a backfill. Now you cannot take it back to process it to make it new concrete, because it's already, to make concrete you need sand, you need gravel, you need cement. This already, because it's already mixed up, you cannot reuse it to create new concrete. So it's only used for as backfill. You remove cotton soil and you put it back in its place. Last but not least, I cannot close this chapter on waste and waste management without talking about clothes. Yes, clothes, second-hand clothes. What in Ghana they call the dead man's clothes. In Kenya we call it mutumba. Please put down in the comment section, what do you call it in your country? Yes, and tell me where you are watching from. So here we have second-hand clothes, and it's not just second-hand clothes, but let's say second-hand household items, clothes and household items. Here in Canada, that is such a is a huge business. These clothes and household items are collected by charity organizations. Also, even some churches are also into such uh, business where they collect all these clothes, they try to sort them out. I have worked in one of such facilities. I only worked for a day, and I can tell you, my goodness me, that was such back-breaking work. I have, sometimes you have you ever been at a place and people say, I will not pay you, and you chase that money, and then you're tired and you forget about it. Well, I think those guys, they try to play with that money. That was the only money I've ever followed up. I stopped working at another job. I took a day off and I said, I'm going to get that money, because that is how pained I was. It was back-breaking work. Oh my goodness. And it is good sometimes to go through these things, because at that point, then you have to understand the plight of workers. You cannot be, just be saying you are talking when you don't understand the pain and the anguish some people put people through. It was such backbreaking work. I wouldn't wish it on anyone, I think. Uh, but anyway, when it comes to household items and clothes, so what I remember when I was there is that there were like all these clothes, they are brought in by trucks. So they try to sort them out. Of course, we know it's a mix. These bins, people throw everything into the bin, right? They are donating, so they just throw everything in there. So it is the work of these organizations to sort out this, so that by the time it's coming to you, wherever you are, maybe you are in Africa, and they are bringing in all these second-hand clothes that are coming in. These clothes, they have to be sorted. What I've found now with this organization is that they will not just export these clothes. They also have shops here. We also have supermarkets here for second-hand items, household goods. Is it books? You will go and you will see there's a lot of books there trying to sell. Even like the old tapes, the DVDs. When was the last time you used a DVD? You find they will find a DVD and a DVD player. They will be there in those stores, because those are second hand. These are second hand. It's a second-hand store. So other things, household items like pans, all these crockeries, the cooker, the cutleries, the knives, the forks, the plates, they are all there. So they are also trying to see if these other items can be reused. And sometimes you go there and you find people. Someone may have seen something nice in there you wanted to buy, but you realize it's very expensive when it is new, and you try to go into the second-hand store and you find them and you clean them up, and they are good to go. So you save money and you save the environment. You do your part. That's all about waste and waste management. Please let me know, which one did you enjoy the most? Is it the clothes waste management, the water, the construction, the industrial? Put it in the comment section. Which one do you think you can operate in your own country, and see if you can save the environment and do your part? So these are some of the things. That is why I bring up this show, Vitu Vidogo. That is Swahili for the small things. It's the small things that matter, right? A journey begins with one step. Vision begins with a dream. You know, some things you have seen, like even this show just started with a thought. So you may not know, maybe, but it could be your calling on matters waste management and making your cities and your countries better, safer places to live in. Until next time, share, subscribe, please like, comment, let me know what you think. Till next time, Vitu Vidogo, Cabrera Karaoke signing out.